88.9 FM. The time is 9 o'clock.
Good morning and glad to have you with us on the program Perspectives. Perspectives this morning still with the state of the nation, but we're going southeast. And in southeast, we're picking out some of the things happening out there and matters on governance. And of course, to also look into, the scuffle between former Governor Rochas Okorocha and, of course, Hope Uzodinma, the governor now. And sharing thoughts with me on the southeast, on the state of the nation, I have with me by phone Chief Fidel Onyeneke, is a veteran journalist, media consultant, and a public affairs analyst. We'll be looking at the state of the nation and focus on the southeast. Chief Fidel Onyeneke, good morning and glad to have you on our show.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Good morning, Nigerians.
Yes. Well, it's the state of the nation and focus is on the southeast. But let me just bring this out to stir up discussion this morning. Is about the former governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, and the serving governor, present governor, that's talking about Hope Uzodinma, about the scuffle between them. That's drawing attention, and from all sides of the nation, and your perspectives on why this is lingering. We all hear that it's about the sealing of Royal Spring Palm Hotel, owned by the wife of the former governor, but that's been sealed by the present governor, Hope Uzodinma. And again, why this is so. In the first place, we do know that Senator Rochas Okorocha now did not support Hope Uzodinma to become the governor of the state. He had wanted his in-law to be governor there. And so this unhealthy rivalry and situation going on with the two big bigs in the state. Your perspectives on how this is going?
Well, first of all, it is very, very regrettable. Nigerians must know that there's a difference between politicking. That is when you are campaigning and looking for votes and so on. There's a difference between it and when you have won election. Because if you are campaigning, it's a different thing. But when you have won election, everything about politics should be kept aside. And then it is time for governance. What the regrettable aspect of what is happening in Imo now is the fact that both Senator Rochas Okorocha and our dear governor, His Excellency Hope Uzodinma, are members of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC. And they, as such, people of the same party do not have any reason to disagree to this particular extent. One had expected somebody to know that if you leave office as a governor, then you are no longer a governor. That euphoria, that immunity, whatever follows you, you must try and agree, come in terms with the fact that you are no longer in office. Above all, the event, or rather, this conflict has gone a long way in showing the extent our politicians have reduced the position of a governor. And the government, they are bringing government to nothingness because time was in this country when a government says something, comes out with a particular policy, government comes out with a directive, and it holds. What am I trying to say? That the government set up a panel of inquiry, it carried out its activities, made various contacts, went to different places, did all the investigations, and came out with a white paper. White paper, for that matter. A document that is a government document empowered by law, constitutionally empowered, and the document that's supposed to be respected by all. And then somebody who, because you were a former governor and now you are in the Senate, you have come to violate the directives of the government. Government seals a property. There are various channels. There are various ways of seeking redress. One of them is that you can, first of all, Go to your political party, since you belong to the same political party, and complain to the officials of your party that look at what the former governor is doing to you. If you feel that he has not done the right thing. Secondly, you can go to court. You can go to court and tell the court that I can't accept the decision of this white paper. You can even go to the Public Complaints Commission and complain. There are certain leaders you can even talk to. The point I'm making is that distinguished Senator Rochas Okorocha did not get it right by going to break a sealed place, by going to use, no matter the means, to go into a place sealed by the government. The message here now is that people should no longer respect the directives of the government. People should no longer respect the orders of the government. And what are we now teaching the younger ones, the youth and so on? When you, as a former governor, as a senator, as a leader in the country, somebody who has different aspirations, you are disregarding orders of the government, you are violating directives of the government, you are teaching the Nigerians and the younger ones the wrong thing. I'm seeing it from this perspective because whether the governor is wrong or right, once governor does something, it becomes the government's order, and it must be respected. We can't continue to reduce leadership, reduce governance to nothingness. So that is why the situation in Owerri is very laughable. Above all, nobody is above the law. That you are a former governor does not mean that if you do anything wrong, that the appropriate sanctions cannot be meted on you. And at the same time, that you are an incumbent governor does not mean that you use the opportunity to take your own pound of flesh. That is why due process is very important. Anything that the government does that follows due process, it must be respected. And in any case, when Rochas Okorocha was governor, could he have tolerated this type of thing? Because I know that as a governor, if you sealed off a place and somebody breaks in, it means total disregard, not just to the government of Imo State, but disregard and disrespect for the people of Imo State. So we must do things that we must reflect back. Say, if we are in such a position, how are we going to take it? The long and short of my submission is that what is happening there is very, very shameful.
Again, let's get to hear your position. This is what Senator Rochas Okorocha is putting, at the fore here, saying that Uzodimma has introduced a law, and through the Imo House of Assembly that empowers him to delay people at will.
To delay people?
Yes, detain people at will. And that, again, is that Senator Rochas Okorocha is saying that he wants to, Uzodimma wants to create fear in the minds of the people.
You see, it is also laughable. Let me tell you, there is no government. I'm speaking purely as an analyst, without bias. Any government, once you become a governor, of course, the best thing for you to do is to win the interest of the people. You have to do things that you have good followers, especially considering the circumstances under which Uzodimma became a governor. So there is no way a governor alone can make a law and say that you are going to detain people, you are going to humiliate the people you are looking for how to get. It is not possible. And if the Imo State House of Assembly made a law, even if it's an executive bill sent by the governor of Imo State, then we have legislators representing the various political parties. A majority of them are in APC, and that is the party where Rochas belongs. Even some are from his senatorial zone. So they couldn't have been there for the governor alone to make a law, sign something into law in order to detain somebody. We still have human beings in Imo House of Assembly. So the governor can never have his way if he wants to do anything that is inimical to the political existence and welfare of Imo people. So I don't quite subscribe to that idea. It is not just possible.
Well, Chief, I want to take a wider view here, and that's talking about the Southeast region. A region that is richly blessed. But again, some analysts will say that it is living below her potentials. We're talking about the Southeast region where human capital. You have it there. These are people from this region who are into business, into education, and all the gains that they have as a region, but not, fully, uh, actualized by what is happening there. People will talk about infrastructure decay, which is deplorable in the southeast region, youth restiveness, and crime on the high in in the region. Why are we having a mix of these?
The reason is very simple. Wherever you have the best of brains in terms of academics, in terms of business, all sectors of the human endeavor, people who are making wealth both within and outside this country, Igbo people who are in diaspora doing very well, very, very well. It simply means that definitely there's going to be this clash of titans. And that's exactly what is playing out. Everybody wants power. And of course, when you have people who are qualified for a particular position, the struggle will continue. But what matters is when you do these things and it is not unhealthy. If it is unhealthy, it becomes very, very bad. But I want to tell you that what is happening in the Southeast is expected because of even the background you gave, where we have people who have the money. Time was in this country when the Southeast, or whether we like it or not, was controlling the economy of the country. And there are many businessmen who are doing very, very well. There are now good politicians who are aspiring for different positions in any state of in the Southeast at any given time. You can always have more than 50 people who are qualified to be governors, but only one person will be there. So there is bound to be all these bickerings and so on. But I want to tell you that even when all these things happen, you still come to the Southeast. It is not as bad as the picture is being painted. There is still that unity. There is still that synergy. There is still that opportunity forum and different fora where the Southeasterners meet to discuss various issues. They come to terms, even when they, after quarrels and so on, they reconcile. So the picture is not as bad as being painted. But I want to tell you that what matters is that everybody is looking for an opportunity, a platform to assist in the development of not just Southeast, but of the country. And in doing this, somebody wants to have an upper hand. And the problem now is, who is that person? You must struggle. In any case, power is even not taken, not given, but it is taken. So for you to take power, you must have supporters, genuine supporters and followers. Southeasterners are still contributing seriously to the development of the Southeast. In spite of all these political differences and so on, they are still in unity and in unison.
Again, people will look at the position of the Southeast that you've mentioned, where things are not as bad as they're being painted. But a situation where you have the people as part of of the voting, and they're not part of governance. There is a situation there. They are part of the voting, and vote elected, officers into positions, but they're not part of governance because governance, they say, sometimes in that region, transparency and effectiveness of citizens in part of governance is not seen.
It is not just peculiar to Southeast. That is what happens in different states of the federation, and that is the bane of the Nigerian politics, and in fact the bane of Nigerian society. Because all our people, I'm talking of Nigerians now, no matter the state, both in the south, southwest, northeast, north central, and so on. Once you elect them, either into the legislature or even they're given an executive position, they go there and tend to forget the people that voted them in. And it is very, very wrong. There must be a system of good governance that will make the leaders to carry everybody along. And I'm telling you that as it is in the Southeast, that's also what the electorate in the other parts of the country are suffering. And it is very, very wrong. Our governors have not carried the electorate along as expected. Our legislators go there and forget those who voted them. They go there and will no longer be protecting the interests of the masses. Their interest will now be how to satisfy, and I'm saying satisfy in quotes, the governor, which is wrong. The essence of the legislator is to act as a check and balance to the activities and excesses of the executive. But they are not doing it very well because of monetary inducements and so on and so forth. Most of our leaders go there and become selfish because they want their own personal gains. And in a bid to achieve this, they neglect the electorate. That is why in most places you don't have good roads, you don't have water, you don't have electricity. People suffer. People pay a lot, house rent and so on and so forth. Hardship is so much, even hunger, to the extent that only the rich, especially the political leaders, are the people now who can feed 3 times in this country. The long and short of what I'm saying is that it is not peculiar to the Southeast. It is what is happening in Nigeria, but it is highly regrettable. And there must be a way of making it possible for the leaders to carry the people along. That is the only way you can be sure of your second election. Even though some of them feel that nobody even voted for them, because they feel that once you're a candidate, you can use any type of impunity and assume any position you want. But people are there. There must be a way of calling the leaders to order, especially when they don't carry those who voted for them along.
Well, there's a security challenge that we're having. It's on the front burner that security is a big challenge for the government of the day, and government doing all it can, to bring, to calm nerves and of course be in charge or be in control. But let's talk about what is happening in some regions. In the southwest, we've seen Amotekun has come out. It's been legalized, so to say. In the north, there's a fight against Boko Haram or terrorists, to put it that way. But from the east, again, and knowing that the east is, asking for this slot of being the president of the country, the Eastern Security Network, which is created by a group that has been banned or outlawed. That's talking about what Kalu wants, and challenging government, security, another security apparatus in the government, and how this would help or secure, the presidential ambition coming from the East. What are we seeing here?
Now let us get a little background of what led to the emergence of Eastern Security Network. Because of the high level of insecurity in this country, Nigeria started clamoring for community policing. And it was the talk of the town. Various debates. People came with different ideas from different perspectives. Government, of course, did not act as quickly as expected. And it was because of the ineffectiveness, so to say, and inefficiency of the appropriate government security operatives in this country. I just looked for Plan B. And because of the delay in setting up a community policing system and even using the conventional police to get to the grassroots, people felt dissatisfied because when the government does not do what it wants to do, it's supposed to do, people will take responsibility. Nobody will want to die. Nobody will want to be killed. And there is no provision for vacuum in anything you are doing in life. That was what led to the establishment of Amotekun. That was what led to the establishment of some other security outfits in different parts of the country. And I blame the governors of the Southeast. Why I'm telling you this is this. When the governors of the Southwest came out with Amotekun, in spite of opposition from different quarters, they stood their ground. One had expected the governors of the Southeast to also come out with a security outfit recognized by the governments of the Southeast, sponsored by the governments of the Southeast, and to serve the purpose of securing the people. Because the membership, of course, should have been drawn from different communities, different towns, local government areas in the 5 states of the Southeast. But they never did this. And since people are being threatened, the security continues to get worse and worse. An organization called IPOB decided to have their own security outfit, which of course is not recognized by the government, which of course may not be the right thing in the eyes of the government. But to the people who want security, all they want is whether you are securing them, even if you are coming from a terrorist group or you are coming from a genuine group and so on, what the people want is protection. So if the government had done the correct what they're supposed to have done, we wouldn't have had this emergence of probably Eastern Security Network and so on. Because there is no provision for vacuum in anything in life. That is the point I'm making, is that due to the lapses, and you can't allow people to continue to move about. All they want is anybody who will give them the required protection. A situation where people are killed on daily basis, farmers can no longer go to their farms, women are raped, are maimed, abductions, and so on and so forth. And it's already stabilizing in the southwest and some other things because they have Amoteku and others. In other parts of the country, they have theirs. So there is nothing people can do but to succumb to the protection being offered by Eastern Security Network, no matter who brings it, whether it's from IPOB or from anybody, because the governors of the Southeast did not do what they're supposed to do at the right time.
This has led, of course, to federal government or the government of the day, taking measures that are go find out the hideouts of this security network that has been created. Some people would say outside the law. So the bombings and all of that we're getting on here again really puts a dent on the ambition of the Southeast to become president, or anyone from the Southeast to become president of the country.
You see, government is doing what it's supposed to do, because as long as government is concerned, this is an outfit set up by a group that the government outlawed. So nobody will blame the government. But in making sure that they fish out whoever they want to fish out, especially in the Southeast, Imo and so on, they must make sure that they do it with high level of professionalism to reduce killing of innocent persons. Because the target is not to kill innocent persons, but to protect the people. So if they are looking for whoever they feel that is an outlaw in Nigeria, nobody will be against the government, because government has more information than me and you have. They get intelligence reports on daily basis. But whatever they are doing becomes very bad when innocent citizens are harassed, when innocent citizens are molested, when people who are not supposed to suffer are suffering because of the situation on ground. And you're talking about the Southeast presidency. Yes, it is obviously the turn of the Southeast to produce the president of this country, because if you check the history, antecedents and so on, it is really the Southeast that has not produced the president of this country for a very long time. But it is a joint responsibility. It is not something the zone can do alone. Insecurity, quite all right, yes, might give the impression that Southeast is not secure or there is disunity. But like I told you, what is happening in the Southeast, both in terms of insecurity and in terms of political unity and progress, cannot be compared to what is happening in some other parts of the country. It is not peculiar to the Southeast. I still say this because it's better for us to understand. It's only when unity of this country can only be appreciated when Nigerians move about, when Nigerians show interest in what is happening in other places. Yes, you might stay here and say that somebody might stay somewhere in one of the geopolitical zones and think that people have finished, have run away, have died in other geopolitical zones. But when you go on ground, you discover that it is not the same. That there is insecurity in the Southeast, yes. That there is a political disunity, yes. But these things are also in other parts of the country, and it can never affect the emergence of an Igbo man as the president of the country. People know where to start and where to stop, in spite of all disunity and so on. When it comes to collective decision, politicians and other leaders can always come together and decide on what they want to make sure that an Igbo man emerges as the president of this country come 2023.
Emergence of an Igbo man as president of the country. Now again, still on the Southeast zone or region there. Are we seeing collaboration? Are we seeing people with one purpose, that this is our turn, it's time for us to have it, with the kind of things that are coming out there that governors been accused of not working with one purpose?
It is just mere accusation. Like I said, governors can be accused of anything. Governors can, in fact, let me tell you, it's even better when a governor is not doing what he's supposed to do. When a governor is not carrying the people along, it is even better that a fellow politician will accuse him so that he will change. Constructive criticism is also very, very important. And I maintaining that in the Southeast, even the governors may disagree. All of them do not need to be in one political party for an Igbo man to be president. And in spite of the fact that Anambra is being run in a different political party, ABDA, Imo is APC, Abia is PDP, that is not to say that the governors of the various states, or in spite of their political differences, cannot come together. They have been coming together, and they need to come together. But that of not carrying the people along is a cry that must be intensified so that they will change. And I want to insist that the only way the people, we can get it, Southeast can get it, is by being in unity, which I want to believe that they are using different fora to achieve, even though there might be some difficulties, because it is not easy for everybody to agree on a particular thing and at a particular time. But when a reasonable number of people, reasonable percentage agree, which is of course what is happening in the Southeast now. Because anywhere you go, if you sample an opinion, if you conduct an opinion poll, you will discover that majority of the people of the Southeast are of the opinion that it is the turn of this zone, Southeast zone, to produce the president of the country. And they are doing this because they feel that is the only way you can ensure equity, ensure fair justice. They see it that most Southeast has been marginalized in various ways. And if you want to give them a sense of belonging, if you want the Southeast to continue to appreciate the fact that they are Nigerians, of course, which they are, and we continue to belong to Nigeria, then it is the turn of somebody from the Southeast to be president. But remember, it is not something that the zone can do alone. There must be that cooperation also. There must be that joint effort. There must be that collaboration with other zones. Because presidency of the country, even though can be wished to a particular geopolitical zone, but for you to achieve it, you must get votes from other geopolitical zones. So there must be serious campaign, serious collaboration, and even synergy with political parties. You convince political parties to fill somebody from the Southeast for the zone to achieve its set objective.
Well, the program is Perspectives this morning. It's coming to you on Invicta 98.9 and sharing thoughts with me on the state of the nation with focus on the Southeast zone. Chief Fidel Onyeneke, public media consultant and public affairs analyst, and is also a commentator on national and international matters. We'll come back, Chief, after this break.
Okay, thank you very much.
Low speakers. The morning show that blows
It's the program Perspectives, and it's coming to you on Invicta 98.9. And this morning, we're still with the state of the nation, with particular attention, focus on the Southeast zone. And sharing thoughts with me on that, I have Chief Fidel Onyeneke, a media consultant, public affairs analyst, and a commentator on national and international matters. Well, Chief, another thing that has come up again from the Southeast region that we're seeing is a richly blessed, region, and with its men and, of course, resources all available, and of course the spread of citizens of the Southeast region in all parts of Nigeria doing business in and out of the country. But again, when we talk about matters of governance, the civil society, how well would you rate the civil society on the matters of governance and bringing out accountability and transparency in matters of government? How far would you rate them in letting the people know about matters of governance?
Well, I want to say that the civil societies and the NGOs have been doing their best, but their best is not good enough. Their best is not good enough because some of them appear not to have the courage to call the government to order. Some of them don't appear not to have the courage to even hold the government accountable to certain issues. One thing is for you to run a CSO. One thing is for you to run an NGO, but another thing is for you to have the not political now, but for you to have the professional courage and be bold enough to tell the government whether what it's doing is correct or not. There must be an effective way of monitoring the activities of government. But they are not doing this thing to my satisfaction and to the satisfaction of the people. That is why government can afford to behave anyhow. Government can afford not to do what it's supposed to do. Nigerians, even in the Southeast, are not getting good governance that is expected from the governors. And that is the truth about it. And that is why we're having hunger everywhere. People don't even have a veritable means of communication. There is no effective link in terms of communication between the government and the governed. And the media is not even helping matters, because we have media houses who are also not holding government accountable as expected. Let me tell you, the worst thing that has happened to Nigeria is now a situation where even CSOs have allowed themselves to be influenced by government. Some of them serving now as a tool for the government. But it is not supposed to be so. It is very, very wrong, very regrettable. Yes, we know when we talk of the media, there are media houses that are owned, totally run by the government. But we still have private media organizations. For the fact that government even owns a media house does not mean that that media will shy away from its professional responsibility. For the fact that government, a private media is there, situated in a state, owned by a politician or owned by whatever, does not mean that you cannot do your duties, that you must dance to the whims and caprices of the person that established you. It is very, very wrong. No one man can determine what the media should do. The same thing is happening to the CSOs. That somebody established a CSO, it is for the purpose of acting as a check. It is for the purpose of making sure that there is good governance, making sure that Nigerians are getting the dividends of democracy. But the CSOs and NGOs we have are not carrying out the duties very well. Even in the Southeast, we still have situations today where people are arrested with impunity. We still have situations where government, those in government, governors even seize properties of people. They amass wealth. They make people feel that whatever belongs to the state, now it becomes the private property of the government. And it is wrong. NGOs will keep quiet. CSOs will keep quiet. That is what has led to the situation in Imo, where the former governor, Rosa Sokorata, was accused of amassing wealth, taking people's land, converting people's public property to personal property, using public funds to establish university, and so on and so forth, after which he claims that such institution now belongs to him. But the government is now saying no. But even as the government is saying no, it is the responsibility of NGOs, CSOs, to highlight all this. If they determine really that some of these past governors and past leaders amassed wealth unduly, we cannot continue to wait for EFCC alone. And in any case, EFCC and ICTC cannot even at the same somebody report. But it is the responsibility of the CSOs and NGOs to dig out some of this information, highlight some of this information that will be of benefit for the people. Because the masses may not have the opportunity, the appropriate channels to bring out complaints and so on. But CSOs must create an opportunity where government can, where the masses, anybody who feels deprived, can come and complain. Then CSOs will take it up from there and let action be taken. As far as I'm concerned, I am not satisfied with activities of the CSOs, NGOs in the Southeast and the South, in other parts of the country.
Oh, all right. We're talking about presidential ambition, and of course having a president produced, from the Southeast region. But as we journey to 2023, what are your concerns, especially on who would be, from whatever part, who would be the next president and how governance should be like?
In the first place, we are talking of 2023. I want to tell you that Southeast has so many people, even those the names you may not have heard, who are qualified to be president of the country. Even myself, Fidel Onyedeke, I can be president of this country. But that you have started now, you feel because you are a governor, you have to move to the ruling political party for you to position yourself to become the presidential candidate. What is the guarantee that after all this, that the party will field you? That you are a senator and you are moving about, going to different parts of the country, claiming that you are going to be the next president of the country. What is the guarantee that your party will field you? Are you God? The point I'm making is that you don't just become too early, make yourself so available to the extent that even before the presidential election comes, you have already finished. You are not just resources, probably your arsenals, your bullets, your strategies. You don't just assume that something must come to you, because it is God that gives power and authority. What I am saying is that those who are making, so to say, I wouldn't want to use the word noise, but those who are now disturbing the airwaves with the fact that they will be the chosen people to become the president of the Southeast, I mean, president of Nigeria from the Southeast, may not be the people that will get it. But appropriate strategies must be mapped out by the Southeast. And how do you do it? Make sure that you use different fora to come together. Political parties, irrespective of political leaders, irrespective of your political party. Secondly, go for consultations. Move from one part of the country to the other. Get the support, get the favor of other Nigerians. And above all, have meetings, strategic meetings with the different political parties, so that all the parties, particularly the major ones, at least, will field an Igbo man as presidential candidate. I am not against anybody campaigning or moving about now or signifying interest, but the truth is that whoever may be the president of Nigeria come 2023, and of course, the Igbo man may not have even come out now, but God will bring us such a person, because we cannot rule out the possibility of prayers. Powers of prayers is also very, very important. That can also be applied by our religious leaders.
Let's go to the audience now. Let's get your thoughts and comments too on the state of the nation, with particular attention or focus on the Southeast. We have Chief Fidel Eneke, media consultant, public affairs analyst, commentator on national and international matters, giving us, an insight into what is coming out from that region. The numbers to call to be part of the program: 081 40989, 081 40989, or 070 87 800 989, 070 87 800 989. We take your calls now. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Alavi.
Good morning.
Yes, Linda on the line, sir.
Who?
Yeah, good morning.
Linda on the line.
Okay, Linda on the line. Okay, let's hear you.
Your guests have spoken well. The aim of political in Nigeria is just they have their end means, what they mean of going into it. These people don't have the poor masses or the Nigerians at heart. These are full men with full package greediness in them. And because of the greediness they have, or they are going into this, in fact, they have turned our political arena to be a business. I'm going in there for what I will get. I'm spending this and spending 10 naira, hoping to get 1,000 naira in return. So because of this ideology that they have, definitely we are going nowhere. And the way the guests have spoken, at the end of the day, he puts God at the end of it. He says there is nothing prayer cannot change. And again, there is nothing Nigerians cannot change. This is the time we need to stand up and say no to things that is not fit to. And again, at the end of the day, Mr. Toyala, the people in charge, okay, let me use the INEC, they are, I used to say it, they are our problem, seriously. They are not getting it right. No matter how hard Nigerians will fight to get the right person in that very particular place, they jeopardize it. They sabotage it. And that's just the truth. And hence these things are going. To be frank, Mr. Toyala, we are going there, but we only pray that God in His infinite mercy will have mercy and pity on this country and give us the right channel to follow. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're still with your calls. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Alavi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes.
Good morning.
Okay.
You see, your friends have spoken very well. You see, Mr. Alavi, I appreciate you for one thing. You bring people that have this country at heart. The unfortunate thing, the leaders we have in place does not have the country at heart. That your people, the analysts, those that are giving us analysis, they have this country at heart. And it begins to wonder, why will it be that one day they will not be in power so that they will change the narrative of things? Because it's obvious and it's unfortunate that we have leaders who does not have the country that they are leading at heart. Because until they have this country at heart, this country will never go anywhere. But if they have the country at heart, this country, the narrative of this country will change. But until then, because the way and manner this country is going on, which one did we talk about and which one we not talk about? Did we talk about our economy? We talked about the insecurity. For God's sake, one of this morning, 18 people were slaughtered in Kaduna, for God's sake. And look at what the and they to declare this as a terrorist. Up till now, I don't know why Mr. President is dilly-dallying in declaring this war as a terrorist, so that our gallant military personnel will go after them as a terrorist and deal with them. And the most important thing, who are sponsoring these people? Because we see them with powerful weapons. How are they getting this weapon into this country? And our soldiers are finding it difficult to get weapons to go and tackle these people. Didn't you see there is a foul play somewhere? So please and please, the leaders should rise up, because their first primary responsibility is to secure life and property of the citizens, to make life better, not to make life more harder and difficult for the people. It does not work like that. Now, are they trying to kill an education sector in this country? That means that they will just go and begin to adopt children from school. Who wants to take his child now to a boarding school, for God's sake? And when these leaders were there, all those things were very good, very, very okay. Now look, and the one that pains me was Alabi, the government science school. Look how bad that school is. And we have leaders that are collecting money for education and all these things. Until then, they have this contract, and this country will move forward.
All right,
good morning.
We'll take one more call, and then we'll get back to our guest by phone. Hello, good morning.
And good morning also to your guest.
Yeah, good morning.
My name is Comrade Gabriel, the Texas man.
Okay.
It's very, very unfortunate of what is happening at Imo State, because a lot of us have been admiring how Okorocha was handling this when he was a governor. And from his speech, we many of us thought that his aim is to see that maybe he's one of the people who are going to come out as a bench. But what is happening in Imo State now has discouraged a lot of us, a lot of Nigerians, including me. He, just as he has said, what he will have done is to go to court, not to enforce himself, because he's no more the governor. So you can see what also happened at Edo State when Comrade Adam Oshimole alleged he wanted Obaseki to leave. And this man crossed over to PDP and won the election. So why is that there is a disunity among the political parties themselves? That means the intention of going to the seat, to their various offices, is not to root for the people, but probably to seek one way or another to say that they enrich themselves, just as other speakers are saying. So what we are saying that the President State governor should stand firm, recover whatever might have looted from the masses, and return back to them. That's what we are asking for. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Comrade Gabriel. We'll come back to our guest. Chief.
Yeah, so I have, honestly speaking, I've listened to the three speakers. Well-informed contributions that they made. Let me start from the last speaker, who talked about, you see, if you know you are interested in something, for instance, you want to be the president of Nigeria, the way you comport yourself, your conduct, everything about you, your utterances, you have to be very, very careful. So I want to agree with him in total that what happened, what played out last Sunday in Imo State is not a good image for Senator Rochas Okorocha. Because as a former governor, somebody who is also aspiring as a young man, he should be careful in whatever he does. And don't allow people to lead you into doing things that you will regret. And as I emphasized earlier, there are various ways of seeking redress. You don't take the laws into your hands, no matter how highly placed. And the other speaker gave from his presentation also is a warning and a lesson to Nigerians. Desperation is not good. If you are from the southeast and efforts are being made to ensure that the next president will be from the southeast fraction, participate coolly and quietly in all efforts that are made to water the ground, because the ground is being watered for you. But a situation where you become so desperate and you are jumping out, this person emerging from this, jumping from one party to another, this person making noise, moving about and so on. That is not the best thing to do now. Work out the strategies. Make sure you get other parts of the join in the fight, in the move to get the favor and support of other parts of the country. After which there must be a forum through which leaders of the Southeast will come together and choose who will represent and represent them very, very well. Remember, we are talking of somebody that's going to lead the entire Nigeria, somebody who will be selfless, somebody who knows the geography of this country, somebody who will not go there just to fill his personal pocket, somebody who is not tribalized. We need a detribalized person. So these are the things that we put into consideration. Into consideration. I appreciate your callers.
All right, we'll see if we can take one or two calls. And yes, come in here. Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning, my Lord.
Good morning.
Good morning, I guess, in the house. I'm Kure by name.
Okay, Kure.
Honestly, I give kudos to that first one. She have said it all. Our major problem in this country is our INEC. If they can get it right, I don't think they will continue having all this problem. You can't be everything. Rochas trying his in-law to come. This is not a family affair issue. Let the people choose the person that they want. Simply because your in-law is not there, and then at the end of the day, a whole senator, you misbehave. It's not going elsewhere. That's why we are not going. We are not moving ahead. Every day we keep on going backward. We keep on recycling all these elite people. They don't want us to near there. Let INEC give us credible election come 2023. That's just why I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Let's say I just have spoken very well. May God continue to strengthen all of them that tell us the truth. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
All right, Kuri, thank you. I'll take another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Tony.
Good morning.
Good morning to the guest.
Yeah, good
Francis Fallen.
All right, Francis. Yes.
Honestly, the guests have really analyzed everything to our understanding. I've come to think of what happened in Imo State last week. It's just a sign of showing that our politicians are not real leaders. Only go there for their benefit. Because I have been following Rochas Okorocha for the 8 years in spending power. And I realized that he really deal with Imo State, to be frank with you. And the present governor now is just acting based on the advices that he's gotten from people, because he's there by times. He's not the right person to be there. So he's trying to please the people for them to accept him for second term. Come to presidency of Igbo man to be a president in next election. To be frank with you, until my people understand that the country in general is playing a game that they have to go deep down to understand what is going on against them, because as it is, Nigeria is not one. And the other part of Nigeria that are talking of insecurity in Southeast is what happened in the Southeast more than what is happening just in Kaduna State alone, not to talk of other part of the North. Or is the people that have been ruling this country from other parts of this country, are they more educated or more wise than the Igbos? There is no difference. It's just that agreement that they have had years back, not to allow things to work freely the way it should have been. And until that agreement is being decimated, Nigeria can never function. Whether it's Yudoman or Afterman or whoever, Nigeria cannot progress because
Francis,
there's no sincerity between us.
We're all hopeful, and we're all hopeful that Nigeria will come out of the woods and the best, will get the best. One more call, and then I just come back to my guest. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Tony.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, your guest has spoken well. I'm Luca Adwa calling from Marabarido.
Yes, Luca.
Ultimately, I have been praying when an Igbo man will become the president of this country. When an Igbo man will become as president of this country, I think the suffering of all the masses of this country will be thrown to the dogs. Because I know what the Igbos can do, and I know what they cannot do. Because it is time for an Igbo man at least to rule this country and put Nigeria in the right path. That is one. Two, I want to comment about Rochas Okorocha in Imo. Please, he should try and get out of that political cycle that has been run by the crop of politicians today. The moment you become a governor, you are thinking of having 2 tenures. After 2 tenures, you become a senator. After a senator, you become a minister. So they do not want to at least leave those places. They have made the political scene in this country as their personal property. And that's why they are circling within themselves. And that's why we have insecurity all over the country. The senators, if you look at, most of them are governors. If you look at the governors, some of them are senators. If you look at the ministers, some of them are senators and governors. You see, and that is why in the National Assembly, they cannot actually confront the executive at least to declare this Boko Haram as terrorists. You see, all what I'm saying is that if people have been declared terrorists, I think the issue of Boko Haram would have been a thing of the past. So have a nice day.
Okay, thank you, Luca. We'll come back to you, Chief Fidel Oyeneke.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me once again appreciate the callers. Honestly speaking, I very much agree with them on their stand on Igbo presidency. And of course, for us to know that insecurity is a problem in all the states of the federation, which we pray that the federal government must handle. Talking about former governors, they will come, they will go to Senate. From Senate, there will be this. From this, there will be that. Because their interest is not to serve the people alone. They want to empower themselves. If you have the interest of the people at heart, you mustn't, once you have an opportunity, even if it is for 1 year, you do your best, you give your best. But the situation, you want to stay in all the positions so that you will have immunity. That is why I want to advocate that the immunity clause as it affects political office holders must be removed. And if you are a serving senator, you commit a crime, you should pay for it. We cannot be in a country where some people will be above the law, they will be suppressing others, humiliating people, intimidating people, and feel that nothing will happen to them, and truly nothing happens to them. We must change our system. And changing it will mean going back to the drawing board. First of all, enlightening and educating the electorate so that they vote and vote for the right persons. And secondly, strengthening our institutions so that the people's vote will count. INEC must be changed. There must be a radical operation in INEC so that when there are elections, people's vote will count. But a situation where somebody feels that because he has held different positions, acquires all the wealth, and then use money to buy votes, intimidate people, and assume office. That means that when the person goes there, he can treat you anyhow, and you cannot do anything. We must strengthen our institutions in this country and let the right thing be done.
Chief Fidel Oyeneke, would like to thank you so very much for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you, it's my pleasure. But let us all know that this country belongs to all of us. It is the joint responsibility of everybody, both the leaders and the led, to make this country work. I am very optimistic that this country will continue to work because we don't have any other place we call our own except Nigeria. So let us make Nigeria great.
Thank you. And that would just be the size of it on the program Perspectives this morning. And we were talking about the state of the nation with particular attention to the Southeast region. Chief Fidel Oyeneke, media consultant, public affairs analyst, and a commentator on national and international matters, sharing thoughts with us there. We'll come with Perspectives tomorrow. I'd like to thank my colleague, Morpheus, for connecting us with the people. Good morning.